morning, Wilson. Today is Monday, December 19th, 2016. I'm Ryan O'Brien.
And I'm Peter Rivera.
And this is your News in Minutes. The Dallas Cowboys' 11-win streak ended on Sunday, December 11th, when the Cowboys fell to the Giants 10-7. The Cowboys star running back Ezekiel Elliott did not play for the Dallas' 7 final plays. Instead, it was decided that Lance Dunbar, who has a lot of experience with tight games, will play instead. The gamble did not pay off, however, and that left some Cowboy fans wondering why the call was made to begin with. Cardell Hayes was found guilty of manslaughter after shooting former NFL star Will Smith. Smith was part of the New Orleans Saints defensive line. According to court documents, a dispute occurred between Hayes, Smith, and Smith's wife, which eventually led to Hayes shooting and killing Smith and then attempting to kill Smith's wife, Raquel. The dispute that arose between the parties began after Hayes rear-ended Smith's car. During the trial, Smith's wife claimed to have collapsed and played dead because she didn't know if Hayes was going to come back and try to kill her as well.
This past week was not a kind one for Georgia police officers. In 6 days, 6 officers were shot. 2 of them, Officer Nicholas Smarr and Jody Smith, fatally wounded. All of the incidents were unrelated. In total, there have been 64 police officers who have died on the line of duty in 2016. Lida Zing, a Chinese paleontologist, was visiting a local market in northern Burma when a local vendor offered him a fossil, claiming that it was a plant that had been preserved in amber. Zing, who had studied paleontology for more than 10 years, knew that this plant was actually a small feathered baby dinosaur.
A plane slid off the runway in Detroit last week. This was just one of the incidents that happened that led to 1,400 flights being canceled throughout the Great Lakes and Midwest region. Meteorologists are warning travelers that this will probably be the first of many instances where travel will be impeded due to Arctic weather conditions. A 35-year-old man from Forks Township was shot and killed by a police officer on Saturday, December 10th. Scott McIntosh suffered a shot to the chest after not listening to police officers' orders to put down the gun and machete that were in his possession. The officer who fired the fatal shot has been placed on paid administrative leave as the investigation continues.
On September 27, 2015, the first baby to be a result of 3 different parents has reached 5 months of healthy life. A group of American doctors in Mexico used a special type of DNA manipulation called spindle nuclear transfer, or SNT. This manipulation removes the nucleus from the mother's egg and then is used to replace the nucleus of the donor egg. The donor egg is then fertilized with the father's sperm, producing a healthy child with DNA from 3 different parents. A buoy that is located between Iceland and the UK captured a record-breaking 62-foot wave. This wave can be compared to 4 times the size of a double-decker bus. Scientists have concluded that the massive wave came in relation to a very strong cold front. The previous record for a buoy wave height was 59 feet.
Dylan Roof, a self-confessed white supremacist, has confessed to killing 9 members of the Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church during a Bible study in 2015. Roof stated that the reason for the shooting was to incite a race war throughout the nation. He chose Charleston, South Carolina because it serves as the most historic city in the state. Roof attended a Bible study on June 17th and fired 70 rounds throughout the church as the congregation stood for prayers. Roof's trial continues as he has not pled guilty to 33 different federal charges, including the use of a firearm to commit murder. If convicted, Roof could face the death penalty. RIP to the people that were lost in that horrible shooting. A Forks Township man allegedly punched his stepfather. 23-year-old Corey Collins is accused of assault, all as the result of an argument about letting the dog inside the victim's home. Collins has been charged with simple assault and harassment.
The 8-year-old son of Kristen Gao called 911 after his mother fell out of a chair. When police arrived, Gale had slurred speech and was very lethargic. The police determined that she was intoxicated and incapable of caring for her 2 children. Gale has been charged with 2 counts of endangering the welfare of children and 1 count of false identification. Violence in Chicago has increased tremendously over the past 15 years. Police records show that within the last 15 years, 8,105 people have been murdered. Another staggering statistic, 1 person every 3 weeks has been murdered while sitting on their own porch.
Eric Heffelmeyer was trying to celebrate Thanksgiving with his family when the unthinkable happened. The jack that was holding up his GMC truck gave out and the vehicle pinned his body to the ground. The accident also spread gasoline everywhere and it was ignited into a fire.
That's when his teenage daughter sprang into action. Charlotte, who was visiting her family for Thanksgiving, heard a commotion and went outside. When she saw her father was trapped, she lifted the truck off of her father with some kind of crazy strength.
But that wasn't all. Charlotte freed her father, then climbed into the flaming truck and drove it out of the house on 3 wheels.
She then evacuated her family out of the house, called 911, and closed the garage doors to contain the fire.
In a comment to a local news station, she said that she did what she had to do and she doesn't feel like a big hero or anything.
Charlotte has since been awarded the Citizen Life Saving Award by the Fairfax County Fire Department in Virginia.
Great job, Charlotte. Thanks for joining us for this episode of News in Minutes.
Make sure you check back next week for the next episode.
And make sure to follow Warrior News 15 on Instagram and Twitter.
For now, that's all we have. I'm Peter Rivera.
And I'm Ryan O'Brien. We'll see you in uno minuto. 1 minute. News in Minutes.